Let me tell you about the day I accidentally became the most important human in the known galaxy. Spoiler alert, it wasn't intentional. It never is with me. My name is Marcus Riley, and up until about a week ago, I was the universe's most overqualified janitor. Well, technically, I was a maintenance technician on Crossroads Station, the galaxy's most impressive intergalactic pit stop. Imagine an enormous space station where every alien species looks at you like you're something they'd scrape off the bottom of their gravitational boots. The Crossroads Station was a marvel of engineering. 17 rotating rings, each dedicated to a different atmospheric requirement, diplomatic zone, or commerce sector. And me? I was stuck in maintenance sector 12, which was basically the cosmic equivalent of a broom closet. My career trajectory had been, let's call it, complicated. Once upon a time, I was a hotshot pilot for the United Earth Expeditionary Force. One tiny incident, involving an unauthorized gravity slingshot maneuver, and a slightly destroyed diplomatic shuttle, and suddenly, I'm persona non grata in human space exploration. The aliens love to remind me of my fall from grace. Commander Vrel, a six-limbed bureaucrat from the Arcturian Confederation, took special pleasure in my current status. Humans, he'd often say, mandibles clicking with barely concealed contempt, are the cosmic equivalent of a toddler with a plasma torch. Destructive, unpredictable. If only he knew how right he was. At the far end of the station's primary docking ring sat the Quantum Horizon, a starship that had become something of a galactic legend. Sleek, impossibly designed, and completely non-functional. Every major alien civilization had tried to activate it. Quantum engineers, neural link specialists, even those creepy telepathic species from the Andromeda cluster, all had failed spectacularly. The ship refused to do anything. No power-up, no systems activation, nothing. It sat there like the universe's most expensive paperweight, causing more diplomatic tensions than a mistranslated greeting. Billions of credits invested, countless reputations on the line, and not a single blip of operational status. My job that day was simple. Routine maintenance check on the docking systems near the Quantum Horizon, clean some conduits, replace a few power regulators. Nothing exciting, just another day of being the human everyone loved to ignore. If only they knew what was about to happen. The day started like any other mind-numbing day in Maintenance Sector 12. I was running diagnostics on the power couplings near the Quantum Horizon when something weird happened. Most maintenance techs avoided the ship like it was radioactive. But me? I'd spent countless hours studying its schematics during my late-night shifts. Something about its design never quite added up. The ship was a technological marvel that seemed to be deliberately designed to frustrate every single non-human engineer in the galaxy. My multi-tool sparked unexpectedly. Not the usual tiny zap of static electricity, but a full-on light show that would make a techno-rave look subdued. The diagnostic panel in front of me flickered with a pattern I'd never seen before, a complex neural matrix sequence that seemed to pulse in some kind of rhythm. What the hell? I muttered, tapping the panel. The ship responded, and by responded, I mean something deep within its systems seemed to wake up, just for a microsecond, just enough to make me question my sanity. Dr. Kira Novak, the station's lead xenotechnologist, caught me staring at the ship. She was one of the few aliens who didn't immediately dismiss humans as complete idiots. Her three eyes narrowed with that distinctive look of scientific curiosity. "Riley," she called out, gliding over on her magnetic hover boots, "what are you doing?" I tried to look casual. Never my strong suit. Just routine maintenance. Commander Vrel materialized behind her, his multiple limbs folding in that way aliens do when they're about to be condescending. Routine maintenance on a ship that has confounded the most advanced technological minds in the galaxy. Fascinating. The sarcasm was thick enough to cut with a plasma torch. The ship responded to something. I blurted out. Mistake number one. Vrel's mandibles clicked in what passed for alien laughter. Responded. To a human maintenance technician? Perhaps you'd like to explain how you, with your limited capabilities, could detect something our most advanced sensors have missed. Dr. Novak, bless her three-eyed heart, looked intrigued. What exactly did you observe, Marcus? I knew how this would sound. Crazy, impossible, the kind of statement that would cement my reputation as the station's resident lunatic. But something was different about the Quantum Horizon, something that no one else had seen. The ship, I said carefully, I think it's waiting for something, or someone. Vrel's laughter died. Dr. Novak leaned closer. Sometimes being the least respected person on the station has its advantages. Nobody's watching you closely enough to see the truth coming. The next 72 hours were a masterclass in bureaucratic obstruction and scientific denial. Dr. Novak was the only one who took my observations seriously. Late one night she smuggled me into the restricted analysis lab adjacent to the Quantum Horizon's docking bay. The ship loomed before us, all sleek lines and impossible geometry that seemed to bend light in ways that made my brain hurt. Look at these neural interface pathways, she muttered, projecting holographic schematics that would make most engineers weep. They're unlike anything in known galactic engineering. The design suggests something impossible. I leaned in closer. The ship's internal systems looked like a combination of quantum entanglement mathematics and something that resembled organic neural networks. But not just any organic network. Something eerily familiar. These look like human neural patterns, I said, tracing a complex circuit with my finger. Dr. Novak's three eyes blinked in rapid succession, her version of a shocked expression. Impossible. The ship predates human space exploration by at least 2 centuries. But we both knew impossible was just a word waiting to be challenged. My unauthorized investigation didn't go unnoticed. Commander Vrel descended upon us with the fury of a bureaucratic hurricane. Unauthorized access. Potential contamination of research. You'll be ejected from the station faster than a quantum pulse. Dr. Novak stood her ground. These findings are significant. The ship's design contains multiple references to human cognitive patterns. It's not a coincidence. Vrel's mandibles clicked furiously. Humans. Significant. The most primitive species in the Galactic Confederation. Preposterous. I couldn't help myself, says the guy who still uses mechanical staplers in the age of quantum computing. The look Vrel gave me could have melted neutronium. But something was happening. Subtle changes in the ship's external casing. Microscopic shifts in its quantum field. The quantum horizon was responding, not to the sophisticated alien sensors, not to the advanced diagnostic tools, to me, and that scared everyone more than they were willing to admit. Dr. Novak pulled me aside, her voice dropping to a whisper. There are records, ancient design logs that suggest this ship was constructed with a very specific purpose, a purpose no one has been able to understand. Which is? I asked. She looked directly into my eyes, waiting for a human. The ship hummed, almost imperceptibly. But we heard it. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And in my case, desperate measures involve breaking approximately 17 different station protocols, violating 2 interstellar agreements, and potentially risking my already questionable employment status. Dr. Novak provided me with an access override she definitely wasn't supposed to have. This will get us closer to the ship's primary neural interface, she explained, her 3 eyes darting nervously around the empty maintenance corridor. But Marcus, you understand the risks, I grinned. Risks were my specialty. Risks are just opportunities with better marketing. The Quantum Horizon's access panel looked deceptively simple. A smooth obsidian surface that seemed to absorb light, covered in microscopic circuitry that shifted and realigned whenever you tried to focus on it. Standard alien tech, complicated enough to make your brain hurt, but with a user interface that suggested supreme confidence. My first attempt was predictably disastrous. The moment my hand touched the panel, a surge of quantum energy knocked me backward. Not a gentle push, more like being hit by a gravitational freight train. Diagnostic systems around the ship went haywire. Alarm klaxons started blaring, their sound a perfect mix of electronic shrieking and what I can only describe as mathematical confusion. Commander Vrel appeared within seconds, his 6 limbs a blur of bureaucratic rage. What have you done, human? Technically, I wheezed, picking myself up from the floor. Attempted first contact. Dr. Novak's scanners were going crazy. The ship's quantum signature just changed. It's responding to something about your neural pattern, but that's impossible. Impossible was becoming my favorite word. I noticed something peculiar. With each failed attempt, the ship's external plating seemed to adjust. Microscopic shifts in its molecular structure, almost like it was learning, analyzing, waiting. It wants something specific, I muttered. Not just contact, something more. My previous pilot training kicked in. Something about the ship's design suggested an interface far more complex than standard neural linking. This wasn't just a machine, this was something else entirely. My third attempt was different. Instead of trying to force a connection, I relaxed. Remembered my old flight training, the zen-like state of being one with the machine. The panel flickered. Not an alarm, not a warning, something else, an invitation. Commander Vrel's mandibles clicked in what I can only describe as pure, unadulterated panic. Stop. Unauthorized interface detected. Dr. Novak's hand hovered between stopping me and letting me continue. Her 3 eyes were wide with a combination of scientific excitement and pure terror. Well, I said, my hand hovering just millimeters from the panel, this is going to be interesting. The ship hummed, waiting. And for the first time since its creation, something in the universe seemed to be waiting specifically for a human. The neural connection wasn't like anything in any technical manual. Not human, not alien. Something entirely different. Imagine having your consciousness stretched across dimensional boundaries, your mind simultaneously existing in 17 different quantum states, while also trying to remember if you'd locked your apartment door back on Earth. That was the quantum horizon's neural interface. Fragments of memory cascaded through my consciousness. Not just my memories, not just the ship's memories, but something older, ancient. The ship, no, the entity, had been waiting for precisely 2,347 years, 6 months, 14 days, 8 hours, 22 minutes, and 47 seconds. Not that it was counting or anything. You're late, the consciousness said. Not in words, in mathematical equations, in quantum probabilities, in a communication so complex it made quantum physics look like kindergarten finger painting. Dr. Novak's equipment went berserk. Sensors designed by the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy started spinning wildly, producing readings that looked like someone had accidentally spilled an entire universe of data onto their screens. Commander Vrel's reaction was less scientific. His 6 limbs froze in a perfect representation of bureaucratic shock. Mandibles clicked. Eyes, moss, all 4 of them, went impossibly wide. The ship's history unfolded around me like a living hologram, and civilizations so advanced they didn't just build technology, they grew it. Engineered living machines that were part biological, part quantum computational matrix, part something completely incomprehensible. We seeded potential, the ship's consciousness explained, across multiple galaxies, waiting for a species with just the right combination of stupidity and brilliance. I should have been offended. Somehow, I wasn't. The docking bay transformed. Not gradually, instantaneously. Quantum energy matrices reconfigured themselves faster than thought. Molecular structures realigned. The very fabric of space-time seemed to ripple and adjust. Diagnostic systems went into overdrive. Alien technicians scrambled. Holographic displays erupted with calculations so complex they made string theory look like elementary arithmetic. Humanity, the ship continued, is an anomaly. Chaotic, unpredictable, capable of both magnificent creation and spectacular destruction. Perfect. Memories flooded my consciousness, not just of the ship's creators, but of every potential trajectory humanity could take. Futures branching like quantum fractals. Possibilities spinning out in infinite directions. Dr. Novak's voice seemed miles away. Marcus, what's happening? I couldn't respond. Not in words. The ship was showing me everything. The true purpose of the quantum horizon wasn't just transportation, it was a key, a catalyst, a mechanism designed to unlock humanity's potential across multiple dimensional planes. We've been waiting, the consciousness repeated, for someone who would understand, not through calculation, but through intuition. Commander Vrel found his voice first. This is impossible. The ship moved through me, laughed, a sound that was part mathematical equation, part pure joy, part something completely unclassifiable. Quantum drives began to pulse, not with mechanical precision, but with something alive, something that felt like potential, like promise, like the first breath of a new universe being born. The station itself seemed to hold its breath. Dr. Novak's 3 eyes were wide with a mixture of scientific ecstasy and pure, unadulterated terror. Do you understand what this means? She whispered. I did, and so did the ship. Humanity wasn't just another species in the Galactic Confederation. We were the key to something much larger, something that had been waiting, watching, preparing for millennia. The quantum horizon systems reached full activation. The entire station trembled. Reality itself seemed to pause, waiting, and for the first time in centuries, the ship was ready to fly, ready to prove that sometimes, the most advanced technology in the universe just needs the right human touch. Aftermath is a funny thing, especially when you've just become the most important human in galactic history. The subsequent investigations lasted 6 months, 3 days, and approximately 17 hours. Not that I was counting, which was a lie. I was absolutely counting. Galactic Central Command convened an emergency summit. Imagine the most bureaucratic meeting possible, then multiply that by about 1,000 representatives from every known alien civilization packed into a conference room that could have doubled as a small city. And there I was, the maintenance technician who'd accidentally unlocked the biggest technological mystery in known space. Dr. Novak became my unexpected advocate. Her 3 eyes would narrow whenever some pompous alien diplomat tried to minimize my role. He didn't just activate a ship, she'd explain, her translator device barely containing her excitement. He established first contact with a technological consciousness that has been waiting millennia for the right neural pattern. Commander Vrel, once my most vocal critic, now found himself in the strangest position. He was simultaneously the most embarrassed and most celebrated bureaucrat in the Arcturian Confederation. Every time he looked at me, His mandibles would click in a way that was half frustration, half reluctant respect. The quantum horizon itself was a different story. The ship wasn't just a piece of technology anymore. It was alive, sentient. And it had opinions, lots of them. During the initial debriefings, the ship would communicate through my neural link, providing commentary that was equal parts scientific breakthrough and cosmic stand-up comedy. Humans, it would say, are like quantum mechanics personified, chaotic, unpredictable, brilliant in their absolute ridiculousness. I'd learned that the ship Mies, which I'd started calling QH, much to its apparent amusement, was part of a vast network, a seed program designed by an ancient civilization to find and activate potential across multiple galaxies. Humanity wasn't just a random selection, we were a carefully calculated possibility. You're not the first, QH would explain during our neural conversations, but you're definitely the most interesting. The diplomatic implications were staggering. Overnight, humans went from being the galactic equivalent of a junior intern to something else. Every alien civilization now looked at us differently, not with condescension, but with a mixture of wariness and genuine curiosity. Dr. Novak helped me understand the broader implications. This changes everything, she'd say, her three eyes sparkling with scientific excitement. We're not just another species, we're a key, a catalyst. My life changed completely. No more maintenance shifts, no more being the guy everyone ignored. I was now the primary interface for the most advanced piece of technology in known space, which honestly was both terrifying and absolutely hilarious. The first official mission came 6 months after the activation. The quantum horizon was ready to explore regions of space that no current civilization had even imagined possible, and they wanted me as the primary pilot. Me, Marcus Riley, the guy who'd been demoted from a shuttle pilot for an unauthorized gravity slingshot maneuver. Karma, it seemed, had a sense of humor. During the pre-flight briefing, I couldn't help but laugh. Commander Vrel shot me a look that could have melted neutronium. Dr. Novak just smiled her three-eyed smile. The ship hummed in my consciousness. Ready? It asked. I grinned. Always. And just like that, humanity's greatest adventure was about to begin. All because a maintenance technician refused to be ignored. All because a ship decided that sometimes, the most advanced technology in the universe just needs the right human touch.